I want to know what this story means to you guys, because there's so many layers to it, so many complexities. We'll break it down, but I don't know if you want to start, John David, with...
It's a deeply personal, family. It's a family story. It's one where this character, Boy Willie, is unlike anything I've ever played before. He's just charged with finding his independence, finding his identity, which I can relate to, and the way he goes about doing it, what he says in the play, in the movie, was just, I just leapt at the chance to do this as an actor. To me, it was a rites of passage kind of thing. Like, if I can do this, I can do anything.
Yeah. And you were in the stage production, but you weren't, Danielle. So what was it like joining the cast and knowing that some of them had already done this on Broadway, but this is the film adaptation?
It was an over-preparing kind of process. I knew that I would be coming into this with a bunch of beast mode individuals, and so one must mirror a beast. Right?
That's a funny
phrase
it's funny? There, because the irony is... Never mind.
Anyway, like I was saying, I was over-preparing because you have to do a play. You have to be nimble and full and ready, because these people in this work, this family, is moving with a sense of urgency about a spiritual component, about a connecting component, which is connecting to each other and connecting to a greater sense of self. And so that was driving how to get into this work, in addition to working with Malcolm, who is just a wealthy vessel of information, of love, of arts passion, and just a beautiful being that brought us all together.
Yeah, I heard about his attention to detail. I wonder from your perspective what it's like working with your brother. Is it easier because you have, again, you're coming from the stage production, but is it easier to work with someone that you're so close with, or is it just difficult across the board, knowing that you're taking a story that many people love and trying to figure out how to fit it into this film?
Well, that was what, we were in the foxhole all together. Like, we understand the traditions here. We understand the weight and the importance and how relevant August still is. And our job is to shepherd that message, to keep it going. And I couldn't choose a better, leader to do it. So I was excited about how he saw the work, how he sees the words, to your point. Like, he's so, he's a brilliant man, and my brother. And yet he's so open and acquiescent to ideas and collaborations. And so I would love that aspect of him, and he definitely applied that to our working environment. So it was easy. I didn't think of him like a brother. I thought of him more like what he is, which is a phenomenal director. So it was easy in that regard because I'm just a fan of his work.
Definitely. And he's so humble about it, too. So it's beautiful to hear you guys give him his roses and sing his praises. Danielle, your character said something that really stood out to me because, again, this is about family and legacy and heritage. And you think at one point you're like, what is the significance of the piano, right? Is it an act of service to better your lives, or is it something that it's a keepsake? But then your character jumps out and is like, you talk about this great-grandfather, but what about my mother? What about the woman who is cleaning this for days on end and trying to, do her part? But when we talk about legacy, women are often overshadowed. And so that really stood out to me. You acknowledge that. I know that you remember that line as well, but I want to know what it meant to you.
It's a blurred line about how women are valued, right? They're pedestalized on one hand. Everybody loves a Mother's Day, but what about the others, right? Of course he's considering, this legacy, and yet only talks about the father, only talks about the thing that is traumatic for him, but it's for both of us, and he lost his mother too. She's just she has this gendered understanding, which she is the only woman largely in the play, and who's fighting for a sense of agency, who is resistant to the patriarchy that is around her, who is rearing the future in the form of Maritha, who is holding the history by advocating for and fiercely defending the presence of the piano and upholding spirituality, in that the piano is an altar, in that the piano is representative of the people who are the connective tissue for what it means to sing a song that is the Charles family. And I think that is driven largely by August Wilson's understanding of what it means to grow up with a single mother. He admired and loved his mother, and knows what it means to have loss, and to work under such dire constraints, and yet fullness and fruit can come from that.
Beautifully said. And the fact that the film is dedicated to your mother as well. What does legacy mean to you? Again, we talk about, is it an heirloom? Is it a name? Is it an act of service? I want to know what legacy means to you.
Knowing, I don't know, it's a big question, and I understand and I respect and I take with me the artists that both my parents are, the people that they were before they got together, the artists that they are. And I try to uphold that and infuse that in every project. I come to the arts humble, hungry, hankering for knowledge. I just want to keep learning and keep growing and expanding the possibilities of what I can be. And I think if I do that and attack it diligently, ferociously, unrelentingly, I think that is how I can, uphold or sustain the legacy.
Yeah.